Your testosterone is not high because your morning routines are fucked up. You may have structure, but you don't know what you're doing, and that's why you have brain fog, you have low libido, and you aren't shredded. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the most optimal morning routine that will allow you to 2x your testosterone. So when you wake up at 6 a.m. ideally, this is because when the sun's rising, usually at 6 a.m., that's when you are most in line with your circadian rhythm. So sleeping with the sun set, waking up with the sunrise will put you as close to the circadian rhythm as possible, and that will actually increase your REM sleep and increase your deep sleep, and it will increase your test because you produce hormones while you're sleeping. But when you wake up, the first thing you do is drink reverse osmosis water. RO stands for reverse osmosis, and you may ask, what is reverse osmosis water? Reverse osmosis water is only H2O. No minerals, no bullshit, no microplastics. It filters out everything. So it's the cleanest water on earth with no poisons, no microplastics, no chlorine, and it's the cleanest water possible. You do not want to be drinking tap water when you wake up. That's the worst way to start your day. But we get reverse osmosis water, drink 2 big cups, but because reverse osmosis filter out all of the essential electrolytes that you need to be hydrated, what you have to do is take a pinch of Celtic sea salt. And you may ask, why would I consume Celtic sea salt? This is because it has sodium and magnesium, which are the 2 most important electrolytes that you need to get hydrated. And in the morning, you are depleted of electrolytes and you're the most dehydrated at any point of the day. So making sure that you're extremely hydrated as soon as you wake up is gonna wake up your brain, wake up your systems, get you feeling good, protecting your organs. Water and being hydrated is the most important thing for living long and feeling good and having everything go in working order. And then after you take your reverse osmosis water and you take your Celtic sea salt, then you go right outside and you get sunlight on your eyes. This is because when you get sunlight on your eyes for 15 minutes, within the first 30 minutes of being awake, it sets your circadian rhythm and sets a body clock. The sun goes in these receptors in your eyes and sets a body clock in your brain, and it will allow you to have optimal REM sleep and deep sleep. And guys, sleep is one of the most important things when it comes to optimizing your test. So being hydrated and then getting that sunlight on your eyes for 15 minutes as soon as you wake up, it's gonna lower your cortisol, lower your stress, and make you feel amazing. So once 7 a.m. hits, this is when you wanna come back inside and hydrate even more with some hydrating fruits. And we like hydrating fruits to get our potassium because we haven't gotten any potassium in because we only had magnesium and sodium from the Celtic salt. There's no potassium in there. So we're getting our potassium and clean water from the fruits. And we're also gonna put Ceylon cinnamon on those fruits. And this is because Ceylon cinnamon will regulate your blood sugar and prevent it from spiking. The thing is, we want to be in fat burning mode. We wanna keep our test up. But when you spike your blood sugar with a bunch of sugar, because there's sugar in fruit, it prevents you from burning fat. And that's why we want Ceylon cinnamon, because Ceylon cinnamon is great for regulating your blood sugar and keeping it low so you can stay in fat burning mode. And after we get rehydrated with the fruit and cinnamon, we're gonna take a 3-minute cold shower. This is because we've gotten our cortisol a little bit lower after hydrating and going outside for a bit. Now we've been rehydrated, now we're kind of awake. Now we're gonna jolt ourselves even more. Cold showers an hour after waking will spike your testosterone, increase your immunity, boost your immune system, boost your energy, and it is a great way to get you into fight or flight mode so you can attack the day, get your test up, and it's also, it's gonna allow you to be healthier overall. If you do this 5 days a week, there's a study showing getting 15 minutes of shivering has all those benefits. So 5 times 3, 15 minutes, you're shivering 15 minutes a week, you're gonna get a shit ton of benefits. And then after this, we're going to meal prep. So this really depends if you're cutting or bulking. But if you're bulking, you would make a double serving of the meal that you want. Let's say it's ground beef and rice. maybe 2 pounds or 1.5 pounds of ground beef and rice, you eat half of that now, and then you put the fresh, hot ground beef and rice in an insulated food container that stays warm all day long, and then it stays hot for like 8 hours. So you can bring that to your work and have that as your work lunch, which will allow you to eat clean and avoid eating some processed bullshit like Chipotle or McDonald's. And once 8 a.m. hits, after you've gotten the reverse osmosis water, after you've gotten the Celtic sea salt, after you've gotten sunlight, fruits, cold shower, meal prep, this is when you want to lock in and you don't want to look at your phone. No doom scrolling. And the worst mistake that you can make in the morning is when you start going to easy dopamine. I start texting about drama. I start scrolling on reels in between my work breaks. I start, watching YouTube videos or listening to music. You don't want any dopamine in the morning, and that will allow you to focus on work, which will allow your test to go up. But when you waste your dopamine on bullshit like entertainment in the morning, bro, if you're a primal human, you should be fucking working and grinding all morning so that you can get your test as high as possible. And then, after being awake for 2 hours, you're ready for some buttered coffee. And you may ask, why didn't I just drink coffee first thing when I wake up? Guys, that's the worst mistake that you can make for brain fog and crashing. There's a chemical in your brain called adenosine, and when you wake up, the levels of adenosine are high in the morning for the first hour and a half, and caffeine blocks adenosine in your brain, so if you block it too soon, it's gonna be blocked and you're gonna have energy, but eventually once the caffeine wears off, the adenosine is gonna be high again and it's gonna make you sleepy. So you have to wait till it goes out of your system for the first hour and a half, then you have that black coffee. And you may ask, why am I having butter in my coffee? This is because butter is extremely fatty. It's the most fatty form of dairy, I'm fairly certain, and it's way better than cream because it has an extended release. It's like an extended release Adderall. Instead of being cracked for like 30 minutes and then you crash, you will slowly absorb and digest the caffeine because it's fat, and fat takes the longest to digest in your gut, and then you will slowly have the good effects of caffeine throughout the day and you will not crash. And after this, because coffee extremely dehydrates you, you want to rehydrate with spring water. This is because spring water has the most variety of electrolytes. While it does have heavy metals and a higher TDS, you do want to make sure you are fully rehydrated after the buttered coffee. So when nothing's in your system, it's okay to have reverse osmosis with the Celtic sea salt, but if you're extremely dehydrated, it's better to rehydrate with spring water. I prefer Saratoga or Mountain Valley. You can go with either, but make sure it's in glass. You don't want microplastics, and that's the best way to rehydrate. And now that we're about to take a little break at 9 a.m., the best thing you can do is get your fasted cardio in. So for a 45-minute walk. So this is especially great if you're trying to shred down, get extra shredded. This is because your blood sugar is still gonna be low from the Ceylon cinnamon, from the butter, from the coffee. So you're still in fat burning mode, but if you walk while you're fasted, you actually get more shredded versus if you walk after a meal. This is because when your blood sugar is low, you're in fat burning mode, and then when you do zone 2 cardio, which is the perfect heart rate for burning fat, that's when you will get even more shredded. So doing a 45-minute walk at the zone 2 heart rate for someone my age is 130 BPM. So if you have an Apple Watch, make sure your heart rate's at 130 BPM and you will get shredded. And then the next thing that you can do after this walk is to smoke a cigar on a chair, outside, in the sun, because nicotine is also a great stimulant and it will help you focus to get your work in during the day. Nicotine is great. It's from a natural source like organic tobacco, and it is also an aromatase inhibitor, so it will increase your testosterone by 20%. That's what studies show. And this is the best morning routine to boost your test, right? So even though it may not be the most healthy thing to do, if you're trying to boost your test in the most healthy way, this will definitely help. And then while you're smoking the cigar, you should sit in a chair barefoot and ground. Do some grounding. And this is because grounding balances your electrical charges and will lower your cortisol and lower your stress. And when your cortisol is lower, your testosterone is higher. So this is literally the best possible things that you could do every single day that will skyrocket your test. And the next thing that you have to do is break the fast. But before you eat, you want to spike your insulin with some raw honey. This is because raw honey spikes your insulin. And when your insulin spiked, you actually have an enhanced protein synthesis. So basically, you absorb protein easier when you eat some sugar before. So we're gonna take a tablespoon of raw honey, then we're gonna go to our beef and eggs, which have the most micronutrients available out of any whole food source on earth. And if your insulin spiked, you're getting lots of protein, you're absorbing all the protein. And then after that, we're going to go on a digestion walk, another walk for 15 minutes. This is because digestion walks will allow you to digest the food easier. It will keep your blood sugar lower after we've absorbed it. It gets it down back to normal so you won't crash and feel tired after. And it will also, help you digest these things way quicker, which is gonna allow you to eat more protein sooner because you're digesting faster. These are all chain reactions that add up. And if you're doing this every single morning, time after time, I guarantee you'll have no brain fog, you'll have a high libido, you'll have high test, high energy, high focus, and your body will change for the better. And for the last hour of the morning, 11 a.m., this is when the sun starts turning up. As you go from 6 a.m. to 11 a.m., the UV index increases. So it probably is like 1, 2, 1 to 2, 2, 3, 2, 3, and then it gets up to like 6 to 7, and this is when you can absorb the most vitamin D. When the UV index is higher, you absorb more vitamin D. So basically what you want to do is tan, shirtless, outside. 30 minutes to an hour, if you have the time to do that. You're going to absorb a shit ton of vitamin D. The UV is not too high, well, you'll get burned if you're new to this, but you'll absorb the most, you'll get tan, and you'll get shredded. And then, for an extra insane test boost, you're going to sun your balls. And sunning your balls will actually increase your testosterone by 150 to 200% in studies. Your balls are literally the testosterone powers. That's where you produce your testosterone, in your balls. So when the sun directly hits it, it spikes your testosterone a shit ton because vitamin D is a pro-hormone and is the building block of testosterone. So you're gonna sun your balls for 5 to 10 minutes, and then after that, you're going to ice them because they're going to get hot. And while you do get a test boost, when your balls are warm, they produce less tests. So ideally, you could somehow get sun on your balls while it's cold. But that's why even if it gets hot from the sun, you go inside and ice them, because when your balls are colder, that's when they produce more testosterone. So to cool them off, we're gonna ice our balls in some reverse osmosis water. Ideally, we don't want to absorb any chlorine. But these are some pretty insane, niche-specific hacks that you can do to boost your test. And you guys may have work, you may not have time to do half this shit, but the thing is, if you want to be as optimal as possible, you would be doing this shit every single day. But if you feel like you need help optimizing your routines, optimizing your diet, optimizing your training, your lifestyle, and you don't know where to start, but you want to get jacked, you want to get high test, feel free to book a call with me for my one-on-one coaching in the link in the description of this video, and I guarantee that I can help dial everything in if you're willing to put in the work and make the changes. But I'll see you in the next video, and let me know what you guys think.